All right, people, I'm going to make a welcome video because it's about time I made one. Twitch lets you do welcome videos these days, and I brought along our posse slash community slash hecklers with me for the ride, which I always love to do, along with the fish, you know, the nice peaceful fish, and of course the beautiful happy New York skyline, which everybody knows we need right now. Let's just take a moment to put out of our minds and remember at the same time what's going down right now. In case you're wondering why I am still doing a stream and a YouTube and all that stuff despite all of the civil unrest, it's because I believe, among everything else, that one of the most important ways that you can change the world, and I sincerely believe this, is to don't get angry, or get angry, and then get busy. Don't destroy, build. You know, our world is about, you know, there's Lord Shiva, if you know Hindu mythology, who destroys things so that new things can grow. And I'm not saying go around destroying stuff, but one of the core reasons that I stream and that I make YouTube videos and that I retired from my job 8 years ago and started doing private mentoring was because I wanted to make a difference. And there's so much crap in the world, and so many things that are wrong, and I really believe most of that stuff can be traced back to lack of knowledge, lack of information, and misunderstanding because of communication that's been restricted to 200 characters, for example. So these are all things that have to be improved in our world, and you know, it's a big task. So how do you start? Well, I believe the way to start is to start teaching people, and so did Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela said that if you want to change the world, you know, start with education. And I'm not talking about the old school, line them up and ship them out, traditional education that you get in school systems, which are totally broken. I'm talking about, you know, the stuff that we need, which is like actually promoting people's ownership of their own learning and them learning and going forward. So if you want to know what this channel and what this RWX Rob guy is about, besides the New York skyline, plug to the New York skyline. This is a YouTube video in the background, by the way. We'll talk about how I do that later. That's what it's about. It's about learning to learn, above all, learning to become an autodidact. And let me go ahead and show you a good this is a text version of the webpage. You'll know this really quickly about me, that I am a text terminal guy, and that is just the way I believe is the fastest way to interact with a computer, which we'll talk about in a second. So what is rwx.gg about? What do we do? Put your problems in a Docker container. You know, that could be a t-shirt. Become an autodidact. So that means learning how to learn. If you can't do anything else, particularly in tech. Tech is about knowing stuff that there hasn't been a book written for. That's exactly how I learned the World Wide Web and the internet back in the 90s before anybody else, and was able to land a really great job as an early internet service provider called Teleport in Oregon. I then went on to be recruited to be Nike's internal webmaster, made SwooshNet, covered the Olympics, lots of blah, blah, blah fun stuff you can read about in my LinkedIn if you want. I was then headhunted out of there to work for IBM, where I got to work on some amazing technology that, you know, correlated the audit compliance data for, you know, 52,000 machines. And then after all that, I was like, you know what? We need to start helping other people learn this stuff, because it ain't being taught in school. I know, because I was a scoutmaster, and so back when you could say that without being shamed. And I you know, had a lot of my scouts ask me, why are you not teaching? So that's what I did. I decided to put that all aside and to take out some retirement. And by the way, I took a 30% hit on that retirement money because it wasn't appropriate for me to take it out that early. And can I just say how screwed up that is? Okay, another rant. You'll know this about me. I rant a lot. It's because I'm passionate about things. It never ever means that I think you are a bad person, or that anybody who holds a stupid idea to be true to be a bad person. There's a lot of stupid ideas in technology, and they need to be attacked, and we need to have debates. Fight me. But we should not be attacking each other. And we need to also not take offense when people suggest that something we believe at the core is false. We should be able to separate ourselves from our ideas and our beliefs and look at them. And that's what's wrong with the world right now. We are like so married. We're so dogmatic and so personally offended by being told that we might be wrong. So that's a rant about ranting. Right there. Right. So becoming an autodidact means that you're going through this process all the time. And I rant. Flock of seagulls. So yeah, so let me just say that the first thing anybody needs to learn before you learn anything else is how to take responsibility of your learning. But I don't know. I just want to pay somebody and sit there and have them do it for me. Doesn't work like that. Never has. It never has worked like that. You don't learn until you do the learning and you allow the information and data and knowledge to enter your brain. And the only way human brains can be programmed through repetition, through practice, through projects, through failure. I don't like your mug. Unsubbed. Oh yeah. Okay. I love my community so far. These guys are great, the guys and gals and everybody in between. So here we go. Becoming an autodidact. That's a good mug. Take my sub. Master Linux Bash terminal. So why is this the next thing? Well, the reason I think this is the most important thing for me to focus on in this community and on this channel is because the Linux Bash terminal is the most powerful, most ubiquitous technical tool you will ever learn. And the thing that's the great Mug Wars, the thing that's really crazy about this is that nobody knows it. Like, go down the street, ask how many people even know what Linux is. And yet Linux runs on probably 80% of the devices that they see every day all around them. Linux is running lights. It's running Android. Every single Android phone is Linux. Android is not an operating system. Don't let anybody ever tell you that. Android is something running. It's software running on top of the Linux operating system. So every single Android device, which accounts for 80% of all mobile devices, is Linux. So why not learn it? Because it's the future. So this is the most important operating system to learn by far. Not taught in the schools unless you're in England. And if you're in England, it got made officially part of the school curriculum. Thank God. Thanks to Raspberry Pi initiative from some guys at Oxford who noticed this problem is like nobody's tinkering with computers like they did back in the time of Steve Jobs and the gang who ended up making personal computers because they were able to tinker. And so they made Raspberry Pi. So Linux is a thing. And you should learn it. And you should, I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning, Mac. I hate Apple, but there's nothing wrong with learning Mac and learning, Microsoft. Now that Microsoft actually officially, as of May 15th, Microsoft comes with Linux on it by default. So this is definitely the future operating system everybody needs to learn. It's small, it's tight, it can go really small so that you can run it on a lapel pin, all the way up to a massive multi-user, millions of user system like picoctf, which currently has 42,000 concurrent users on it who are getting scholarships and doing picoctf capture the flags security games because our world is in dire need of security professionals. 32% growth rate, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. That's the number for security analysts, the fastest growing tech career need in our world, at least in America, according to those statistics. So please take what you learn with Linux, and I suggest applying it all over the place, but the first place you could potentially apply that would be there. And we'll get to that in a second. Next, we have the Linux command line. So why do you need to learn this crazy terminal stuff that I'm doing? Because it's the fastest human computer interface. It's hard to learn. You have to know how to type. You can't use your thumbs. You can't talk to it. You have to type it in. You have to actually type the keys. But to this day, this remains the most efficient interface between a human and a computer device. You need to learn it. And if you don't, it's not the mouse. The mouse was some stupid crap Tesla invented from Apple that made us have to use two hands instead of just one to navigate and do all kinds of other things. This isn't just some old boomer, tech ranting. And I'm not a boomer, by the way, I'm 2 years shy, but this is, just reality. It's faster to communicate with a computer through the keyboard. The end. And when you see how powerful the command line is called, which ironically Microsoft called PowerShell. I mean, it's like kind of on the nose if you ask me, but that's what they named their shell. We're going to be learning the Bash shell, by the way, a little bit of PowerShell, but mostly Bash. So we're going to learn that, and you're going to learn everything that I'm doing, how to control the thing. And now I sound like the ShamWow guy. Come, sign up now. And there's still money here. I mean, appreciate your follows and stuff, but there's, So if you want to learn how to operate a computer the fastest way possible, then this is how you do it. And that's why you should learn it. How does that relate to autodidactic learning? Well, because this is the best tool you have to learn. Check it, man. Watch, I'm going to go search for, let's see, I don't know, what is an autodidact? Let's look for that really quick. How many seconds did that take? List of autodidacts. Here's a list of noteworthy autodidacts off Wikipedia. Let's go read it. Because of the large increase in years of education, especially during blah, blah, blah. So, wow, there we have a full list. How much time did it take to get there? Took me a few seconds to get there. Did I have to worry about the security of JavaScript and did I have to worry about blocking the ads? No, because I use a terminal. So what I'm trying to tell you is there, in many ways, there's objectively no faster way to interact with a computer. Now, there are definitely applications for graphics and other devices out there, obviously, you know, video editing and stuff like that. I'm not trying to put all that down. I do that as well. And for that, Apple really has a great product. So, you know, it's not about that. It's about having the right tool for the job. And most of the time when it comes to learning and for interacting with a computer and making it do things that you want to be done, when you want to do them for you and not somebody else, you usually want to have a command line. I really believe that. And that includes web browsing. And I'm going to make a big case for that. You know, and we'll go through that. So, I mean, for example, if you do need graphics, you can always pull them up, right? So the default Linux command line is bash. That's why every time you do anything on the command line, ls, I list all the stuff that's there, echo, hello world. When you use the terminal command line interface, like you're seeing me use, you are programming. There's no escaping the fact that what I'm doing is programming. In fact, those last two commands I just did, ls and echo, let's put those into a file. So we'll call the file foo. And we'll put bin sh, that's just telling it it's a program, ls, and echo hello world, okay? We'll tell the computer that it is an executable file to be run, and run temp foo, and now those two commands, list, and the ones I did up here, list, and echo hello world, are now a script. Okay, so I'm gonna, this is actually a change for me. I used to teach JavaScript first, and before that I taught Python first, and I now teach Bash first. Why? Because you're already coding in Bash every time you use your computer. Every time you turn your computer on a terminal, you're writing. That's why it's actually challenging, because you're actually writing code just to operate your computer, rather than having a big, scary look at your thing here. Those are some good suggestions, yes. So here we go. We have this big, scary, empty command line, right? I don't know what to do. Well, you'll learn how to do stuff. And there's a survival guide about, you know, the basic commands, ls, pwd, all of that stuff. So we're going to learn the terminals, what I'm trying to tell you. Then what else are we going to learn? We're going to learn also how to take notes the way I'm writing it right here, using something called Markdown. We're going to be using a tool called Pandoc to convert that Markdown into a web page. So here's an example of what the web page looks like that I'm working on right now. Localhost 3000. So here is the web page that I've been working on. It's got a little bug in it right now, but so as you can see, you can like add these things to it. So Bash master terminal. Here's actually one that's that's a different one. So the one online you guys can go to is right here. The one I'm doing is a local one. So hello friend. So these words that I'm typing into this file are becoming in this web page, and it's using a very easy language to learn called Markdown for capturing knowledge, rather than like really focusing on scary coding like HTML. So coding is a thing. Coding is going to be a big thing. And here we go, code all the things. So code is everywhere. I mean, it's just in everything. You don't have to take my word for it. You probably already know this. And does that mean everybody should be a coder? Probably not. I don't buy into that idea. That there's a lot of people who will try to sell you that. I don't think everybody should be a programmer by trade. Steve Jobs famously said everybody should learn to code because it teaches you how to think, even though he never learned to code, which is always ironic. So, you know, coding is everywhere. You cannot work in tech without it. So, you know, this is where we start. We start learning Bash as a programming, and then we learn a bunch of other languages, namely, here they are. So, let me go back to Lang. Let's go through the list here. So here are the languages and the order that I suggest everybody learn them in order. Well, that's kind of redundant, but you know, this is live. So here we go. Bash, which I just talked about, which is the language of interactive Linux terminal. It's the default interactive program you use every time you interact with the shell. And that's the command line thing that we've been using. And then you go down here and you have Markdown, which is the one I talked to you about, primarily for knowledge sources, so you can take notes. We learned that right away so that you can save those notes in a way that you can come back to, that's sustainable, that can be turned into web pages and books and EPUBs and all kinds of stuff. Because why? Because you picked the right language for the knowledge and not Microsoft Word or some dumb thing that never can be changed into anything else except for that. So the next language is JSON. The JSON is the language of structured data. So this is the language that allows you to see, to see what things look like. I think I have a JSON here. Nope, don't have a JSON here. Actually, we can put a mark here. So let me go ahead and make a mark in my Twitch feed. So mark something. So JSON is the structured data that is this. So it is this organization of data so that it can be processed in a reliable way. It's not too complicated, but it's a really great way to introduce to data structures. So what's, a string? What is that thing with quotes? What is a number? What is a Boolean? What's true, false? So that's kind of a preface to getting into some of the deeper coding later. Then you can learn YAML. YAML is just the same sort of thing. The YAML is at the beginning of all of these pages. This is a YAML formatted document. You have a key and a value, a true or false at the beginning. So nothing fancy there. You already learned it pretty much. And then HTML. HTML, as you well know, is this. So this is the HTML for the web page that Brilliant is like a treasure. So this is the HTML of the web page that I was just showing you. You tell me, what would you rather edit? This or this? Right? This is why Markdown was invented by John Gruber and Aaron Swartz, who are both writers and podcasters and activists. And they were done with HTML. They're like, this is insane. I don't want to have to write this to publish something to the World Wide Web. So they made Markdown. Markdown isn't taught anywhere. If you can name one official educational organization that teaches you Markdown as a part of their curriculum, I will pay you $1. I had to take that number down. It used to be like $20, but I think I probably go broke. Nobody's teaching it. And I don't know why. It's the most important language you're going to learn. You can use it on Discord, Reddit, Stack Exchange, Medium, any blogging system, not to mention the way of publishing your own knowledge bases. So Markdown is a thing. And that and that includes the YAML that goes at the top. Okay, so let's go back here to the other languages. We're going to learn CSS. CSS is how you get the styles. I really like CSS, actually. It's a pretty simple language, but it does so much. It allows you to change how your knowledge looks without getting in your way like the next language does. JavaScript gets in your way. In fact, the World Wide Web is dying right now because people are putting their knowledge into JavaScript applications and not websites that can be read by humans. In fact, one of the most sinister ones is dev.to, which I'm going to pick on right now because I hate them. Here's their website. Notice anything? It's a big freaking black page. That's it. It doesn't comply to any of the original World Wide Web standards. They decided that having some stupid interactive JavaScript widget was more important than providing their content for people with text-based browsers. Oh, and I don't know, people who are blind. It's totally inexcusable, and they're a disaster of a site that you should stay away from. And there are many, many more, and if you really want to, you can go to robs.io shitty sites, and you can see a list of all these other bad ones that I've found over the years. Because we need to shame them into compliance, because they will continue to destroy the World Wide Web that has built up our world to this day. Medium also has a problem. You can't read Medium pages very well either, so let's go try Medium. Medium.com. I don't blog at any. Ever since Medium added a paywall, you can actually read the articles on Medium pretty easily. I think they changed theirs, but yeah. So anyway, progressive enhancement people. That's the word. In fact, a progressive web RDBX blacklist. Oh, you betcha. I like blacklist also. The problem with Medium, I'm just going to tell you right now, is that Medium put up a bit kind of a paywall, and so I've stopped blogging over there. I blogged over there for a long time. Medium actually sold everybody on the idea that was invented by the original World Wide Web by having everybody blog using one font, one list of bullets. You can't change the highlighting, a certain limited number of emphases, and minimal graphics. They basically made 1996 World Wide Web and sold it to everybody with better fonts. That's exactly what they did. But everybody bought it because they wanted consistency and knowledge over blink and pink backgrounds and everything else. So there's definitely, yeah, it's kind of coming back around. The server-side rendering JS app universal mode. The server-side rendering JavaScript does not fix the problem, and we will talk about that someday. This idea of like rendering it server-side JavaScript, which by the way crawls every single web page, by the way, to do that. It's the most inefficient, horrible idea ever. And then they hydrate it. It does not fix it. Nuxt.js does not fix it. Gatsby.js does not fix it. And they continue to chant the chant of like, oh, server-side rendering, when you should have just done it that way in the first place. It's one of my very popular rants, because the JavaScript, all the things community is destroying knowledge on the World Wide Web right now. And I am not exaggerating. They are destroying it. If you don't believe me, go read the Sites and Search mailing list from Google, and you will see case after case after case of people losing the ability to have their sites found in the web archive and on search engines like Google and DuckDuckGo. And so they're destroying the web. If you want to see one reason that I'm streaming, it's to fight this cascade of idiocy supporting the JavaScript all the things knowledge movement, which is completely stupid. All right, so back to Go. Back to Go. Good morning. What's stupid? So sorry, you guys. I told you I was going to rant. This is supposed to be a welcome video, but I'm almost done with all the languages. Okay, so here's Frank. I love Frank. Frank challenges me all the time in the best of ways. Let's see, my webpage with Pendoc, but it doesn't do automatic site index, etc. It found this. Looks like you can do it. Ooh, cool. So this is another reason to join our community, is there's so many people that are smarter than me that are here, who have more experience a lot of times than I do, and we've had like the maintainer of the Alacrity Terminal project. We've had amazing people that own their own security companies. So you don't just come for me, you come for the community, and then you can, have fun with us as we rant about the best things. We love each other, even though we fight a lot. And that's the kind of the mantra for our community. So anyway, here we go, literally. So Go is a language that's taken over the world. In many ways, it's replaced Python, Java, and C++. And that's not an opinion. You can read the facts on this by watching case study after case study about this happening. You can go to go.dev if you want, and read about that, which I actually think doesn't work with JavaScript. This is one of my biggest pet peeves too. I think go.dev, oh, they fixed it. Good go.dev. Thank you for not failing me. The Tour of Go, however, is a total disastrous fail that does not show anything when you go to it in a text-based browser or an accessibility browser, like, say, if you're blind. I'm so glad Pizza Hut lost the lawsuit against them for not making their website readable. All right, so here we go. Rust is the fastest safe level low language, and I really believe you learn it even if it doesn't become huge ever, because it will change how you think about writing code. It will make you write safe code because you have to write safe code in Rust. Myself, I'm a newbie at Rust, and if you want to watch me learning Rust, I will be writing what's called a peg parsing grammar and some other things like that to learn in Rust. Frank does not agree with my programming paradigms. The programming paradigm site that he's sending me actually does agree specifically with what I have written here. It organizes the paradigms into three. These are not programming paradigms. These are language paradigms. And the programming paradigms website on the wiki does not include data languages of any kind. So in order to categorize them, I've taken the top three the top two actually, imperative and declarative, and then I've added data. Those are the top two languages on the programming paradigm sheet here. So here you go, imperative and declarative. They're the top two. There are several other tiny little subcategories of those two major categories, but that is where I'm coming from. So, and I agree that some of these are more low level, but these are, and there's massive debate about whether Markdown is even a language or if HTML is a language, and there's actually sites to that. If you want to fight about those things and just debate them, join our community. This is just telling you what we're about. There are other languages, obviously, that are important to learn. This is them summarized down here. So I forgot a lot of languages on here. Of course, you won't find any Java. I will never code it here if I can get away with it. I coded it for years officially for IBM and for Nike, mostly for Nike, and I just hate it. I also coded a lot of Python, which makes me hate it now too. So it's important that you know my views. I do have a /views and /values pages coming. So if you want to just know where I stand right from the beginning and know where the community site is going to largely be biased toward, because I'm writing most of it, you can know that right out of the gate. And if you think that I'm full of crap and you don't ever want anything to do with me, fine. Go make another site and justify your own positions. And I encourage you to do that. The world needs more of that. It needs more respectful disagreement and debate, not less. And it needs less trolling and less, poop throwing at each other. And I've been guilty. I won't lie. I've been guilty. My passion takes me over a little bit more than I would like to admit. So just be ready for that. But that's a welcome to what is about here. This is a place to come if you want to get good to gig. That is my term that I believe in the gig economy. It's becoming more about working for yourself as a contractor on projects. It's actually very freeing, liberating, provided you live in a country where they have the social safety nets necessary to keep you alive. I don't, and I don't mind telling people I don't have insurance. I am working for myself in America, which is one of the most dangerous things any human being can do. So anyway, just know that about me. You'll hear from my wife on that topic too. We try to keep it we keep the politics out of the conversation. We try to definitely keep religion out of the conversation. Officially, when you see me talking on over the shoulder mode, I will sometimes lapse into talking about those things, and it's harder to not hate people when you disagree with them over about religious belief. So I'd rather not talk about those things because I still want to love you, and I don't want to hear your religious opinion that's going to pretty much make me hate you. So I know, you know what I'm saying? It's like, let's just be happy. Let's try to focus on things that we can agree on, and agree to not talk about some of those other things that disagree. It's going to be hard enough to not judge you because you think Java is a great language, let alone, the other things I could say there. Okay. Hey, Denmark, how's it going? Make America great again. Yes. Hi from Portugal. Good to see y'all. Again, so a big focus of this community is getting you good to gig. That means if you want a job, if you want an occupation, by the way, there's lots of good jobs out there still. Don't let anybody tell you different. Here are the jobs that we target. Okay, so these are the jobs I'm trying to get people excited for. Hi from Nigeria. So we have security analyst, the fastest growing tech profession according to the statistics, millions of dollars into these studies. The fastest growing tech profession in America and potentially the world right now is security analyst. And that is, so it doesn't pay as much. You can build that into whatever. Oftentimes it requires different certifications and stuff. We'll talk about that. Should you get certified? Should you not get certified? The real secret, I'll give it up right now. The secret to getting a job is building trust with a potential employer. And that requires two things. You need to know who you want to get potentially employed by. And maybe a client, doesn't even have to be a company. It could be a person that could pay you. You have to know who they are, what they value, what they trust, and then you have to produce stuff that proves you can be trusted. You make a portfolio, you demonstrate something, you win a capture the flag, you get a certificate. Everybody builds trust differently, and there is anybody who tells you there's just one pat answer to getting a job is lying to you, because every single company, every single individual deals with how they trust their potential employees differently. So you need to know who did you get my Nigerian letter? Yeah, you need to trust those people differently, depending on, I mean, they will trust you differently depending, so you need to figure out what that is. Now, it's true that some certificates apply to multiple occupations, and people generally trust that. But so that's a big part of getting a job. So that's part of my whole leading into the next thing, which is research and reach out. So research and reach out. Being hired isn't about you, it's about them. It's about finding out what they need, how to get them to trust you, and doing the work. And, you know, going through that. Actually, if you want to play this page, by the way, we like to have fun here, don't get me wrong. I'm actually going to show you this because this is really fun. So we do have fun, we make games, we talk about games, we sometimes hack. I really like Hack the Flag, Capture the Flag sorts of games, even though I'm not very good at it compared to everybody else. But we do a lot of that, and I'll do a lot of walkthroughs on that if you want to watch that. That's, again, what we do on the stream. And we also do silly things like this. So, oh, this is a bad one. I got to find my other one. Here we go. Where's my other one? Here we go. I added this just recently. I haven't committed it yet. But so you can click on play this page at the bottom. Stay tuned. This hasn't been committed yet. So you click on play this page, and you can actually load in the entire page. And I have to prove that I'm not a robot. I have to prove to the robot that I'm not a robot. Think about that for 2 seconds and not want to walk into the ocean. That's a quote from John Mulaney's skit on robots. It's pretty funny. All right, here we go. So, hello, friend. So, I will end this welcome video with you watching me play a game. Okay? Does anybody have any questions or snarky comments? Oh, and okay, there's a hard one. You have to learn to type, people, by the way. Make sure you learn how to type, and that you just type. Don't just do this hunty, pecky, blah, blah, blah stuff. Like, learn the real thing, man. You can do it. You guys and gals are probably gamers. Practical, technical, skills, education. That's a big long one. All right. Have you left yet? Why are you still here? You just saw me fail. I just used my smart bomb on accident. It's your fault. I blame you. All right. It's time for me to go. I'm going to end this video now. So I'm going to go make a mark on my Twitch. And if you want to learn how to do really cool things like, I don't know, Twitch commands that show you who the top streamers are. Who are the top streamers right now? There's, top streamers. Ooh, there they are. There's the top streamers. Ooh, maybe you want to like pull out all the URLs from today's stream. Ooh, there they are. Maybe, I don't know, you want to like put a mark in your stream. Twitch, mark, and I'm going to say end of welcome. And that will put a mark in my stream, which is no. Why would it be no? I have a bug. I have a bug, people. You're going to see me make lots of mistakes. You need to make lots of mistakes. Go make lots of mistakes and join me. I might even show you how to make the T-Matrix. Ooh, can we mix the T-Matrix and some fish? What if we have the T-Matrix and fish? That's definitely going to get them to want to join. Don't you think? Put fish down here. There you go. And up here we'll have the matrix. I mean, because computers are all about random, silly things, right? I mean, now you've definitely got to want to join us, right? All right, guys. Sounds fishy. Mixed matrix and lolcat. I tried that and my computer about fell through the floor because it got so hot. Lolcat actually colors every single character as it goes through. Yeah. All right, this is the end of this video. I swear to God, I'm going to go now. I'm actually going to go take a break, so you have to see me go away. I'm going to turn the music up. The nice, happy music. When I come back, we'll find something else to do. We're trying to make boosts for you. It's largely what you need, and I'm trying to help you with that. So, see you later. I got to go get some coffee.